What's going on, everyone? So, the new I Know What You Did Last Summer Legacy sequel is set to start filming. It's supposed to come out next year. And I, myself, as well as many others, are very excited for what's going to happen with this film. This is technically the fourth film, but that third one, I Always Know What You Did Last Summer, we can kind of forget about that film. But this film is supposed to be a legacy sequel that brings back all of the main core cast. Obviously, Sarah Michelle Gellar, as well as Ryan Phillippe. Those two won't be returning because obviously they died in the first one. But Brandy, Freddie Prinze Jr., and we're still waiting on what is going to happen with Jennifer Love Hewitt. Right? She was and seemed to be all on board. I mean, she was one of the first that was really on board on the potential of having a new I Know What You Did Last Summer film. Freddie Prinze Jr. was kind of like, oh yeah, like it'd be cool. I'll wait for the script, kind of see, if they ever reach out to me or not. But Jennifer Love Hewitt was somebody that was talked about this, it was over a year ago now. It's been a while, where she talked about the potential of doing another film and stuff. And if Freddie would come back, and if everyone come back, that she'd love to do it. And so far, we've gotten confirmation. Freddie Prinze Jr. is back. Brandy, still, we haven't gotten the confirmation, but she has talked about potentially returning herself. We've gotten some new cast members that are expected to be in this film, but still no Jennifer Love Hewitt, right? No word on if she's signing, will she sign, what's going to happen, until a recent interview that just came out. And we got an update in regards to Jennifer Love Hewitt in the upcoming I Know What You Did Last Summer. And here is what Jennifer Love Hewitt herself, this comes from her, what she said. So she said, "We're so close. That's all I'm going to say. I feel like the actual audience now is like, what are you waiting for, huh?" Right? That's the little thing that, where she's spinning around. They even made fun of it in a Scary Movie, which is also a new Scary Movie coming out. But it's such a delicate thing because we're trying to deal with the 911 schedule to show that Jennifer Love Hewitt is a part of, and the movie schedule. So we're just trying to figure it out and make it happen. If I'm going to come back 27 years later, I don't want to just be in it for 5 seconds. Like, I don't want it to just be like that thing that's like, oh, well, there's the ghost of I Know What You Did Last Summer's past. Here she is. So I want to be able to carve out time to really be in it for people and to have it matter. So we're working on it. We're so close. The announcement will be so exciting when it happens for me as well. And I'm hoping it's soon. And this is via Parade Magazine where she stated this. So again, got Freddie Prinze Jr., who is expected to return. Jennifer Love Hewitt, according to her, it seems like they are close, right? The big holdup, the reason why Jennifer Love Hewitt has yet to sign on is because she's doing that show on 911. I'm not too familiar. I know of the show, and I've seen little clips and stuff of it. I've never actually seen the show myself, but I know it is a really popular show. I know it's like this drama series. What is it on Fox, I believe? But yeah, she's like a big part of that show, and because of that, she can't just hey, sorry about the show. I'm going to go run and do I Know What You Did Last Summer. So she has to kind of figure out a path to do both. And so does production. But this is supposed to be a film that really has Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt in it, right? Where we've seen a lot of these legacy sequels and stuff where it's like, yeah, the original cast is in it, but it's brief or it's completely pointless. Right, or you look at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, right? That came, or the Legacy sequel that came out with Sally. And it's just, all right, really, that's how we approach this. Or The Exorcist, right? The new Exorcist movie that came out, right? We've seen a lot of these movies go with the Legacy sequel and then really just kind of be lackluster on the actual key characters, right? The characters that are the legacy. Right? It's kind of hard to have a legacy sequel when you're not really focused on the legacy of the characters that built the legacy, right? So I hope that it's something even Jennifer Love Hewitt herself said. I don't want this to be something where I just kind of make a cameo appearance or I pop up or whatever, right? And it's focused on Freddie Prinze Jr. and it's well, where's Jennifer Love Hewitt? Oh, well, she's in, she's in work somewhere in Atlanta or whatever, right? No, you want to have Julie James. You want to have Ray in these films, right? Are they married? Are they a couple? they supposedly are going to have a kid in this film. Okay, well, kind of hard to have a kid in this film if the mother and father aren't in the film, right? Like, it's just, especially when it is Ray and Julie who are the survivors of the Hookman, right? Like, so to me, it's just, you have to figure it out. I mean, if you have to kind of wait and draw this out a little bit, right, then you have to wait and draw it out a little bit. I don't like, because this is supposed to come out in July, right? Like, if you didn't have Jennifer Love Hewitt locked up, why make those announcements? Like, why have everything, like, don't you want to have her locked up first? Unless the point is not to have her be a huge role and be a huge fixture in this film, which I would be a little disappointed, if I'm being honest. Right? Like, I don't want to see a legacy film of I Know What You Did Last Summer and Jennifer Love Hewitt isn't a part of it, right? Or if she's in it limited, right? Like, but you already announced that this film is supposed to come out, July 18th? I believe it is, 2025. July 18th, 2025 is when it's supposed to come out, right? Well, why wouldn't you get everybody already on board, everybody already locked in? That way you don't run the risk of, like, okay, well, now we have to postpone things and shoots and stuff because Jennifer Love Hewitt can't come on yet. She has to finish the 911 thing, right? Like, it's great that she's on board, right? If we would have gotten, news that it's like, oh, Jennifer Love Hewitt, she's not really interested, or she's kind of like, I don't know yet if that's really what I want to do or anything. No, like, she's game. Freddie Prinze Jr. is game. I mean, again, Freddie Prinze Jr. is already signed on. We got the confirmation of that. We're just waiting on Julie, and she's the face. Like, she is the final girl of that franchise. So it's like doing a legacy sequel without, a Jamie Lee Curtis, or, a Scream sequel without, Neve Campbell. It's like, okay, then why even do a legacy? You should have just done a direct sequel or whatever, or just done something like that, not have it be a legacy sequel. Like, this whole film, this whole idea kind of centered around the idea of, oh, we're going to bring back Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr., right? Like, they were the two that they approached first about it. Hey, you want to come in? You want, right? And kind of fits the mold of kind of like what Hollywood's doing, particularly with horror films, right? We just keep getting these legacy sequels and stuff, or these direct sequels, which, again, I don't mind if they're good. It's just the problem is, more times than not, they're just disappointing, right? Like, I even like Halloween, right? Halloween 18 was great. Like, that was a solid film. But then, like, Kills was like 50-50 amongst people. Like, some people love it, some people hate it. I didn't think it was a very good movie. I get the point. I get, like, it's Michael's greatest hits, but I wasn't a big fan of that film. And then Halloween Ends, the consensus is, like, that was awful, right? Because, like, you had a clear path this entire two previous films, and then decided to just go a complete left field, and it was silly, right? But then, you look at, like, The Exorcist. That was so bad, they fired everybody. The director, everybody. David Gordon Green was supposed to be a big part of it, right? So, like, they haven't had this, like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre I mentioned, right? They haven't had this, like, great history of, like, these requels. And it's like, this is one where you may actually have an opportunity, right? Because we don't, like, the beauty of this one compared to even the sequels is the mystery element of it, right? Like, even the original, like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, there were literal shots where you could see the guy's face, right? Like, there are literal shots where it was like, okay, clearly we know who that is, right? And, I mean, even just the synopsis, you basically knew, okay, they hit a guy, and then the guy comes back and tries to kill him, right? Like, it wasn't like, it was just, who's that guy, right? Like, who is the guy? That's what you're trying to figure out, is like who he is, and then it's like, oh, it's Ben Willis. Okay, cool, there we go, boom, right? And then part two, right, it was just kind of like, okay, is it Ben Willis again? Like, you had a little more mystery, and then the whole Ben's son thing, Will Benson, right? Ben's son, get it, right? Like, okay, cool, right? But now you have this complete mystery. It's like, okay, well, Ben Willis, the dude would be like 80 at this point. So it's like, is he really running around killing people? Probably not. His son's dead, daughter, right? Like, okay, so then who is it? Right? Like, you have a real mystery. Is it a family member of Ben Willis? Is it, is it just somebody else that, because it's supposed to be kind of like an anniversary film. So, okay, if this is an anniversary film, is it something where, maybe it's somebody from the past or something that knew, or maybe it's somebody new that wants to like just copycat it. And because Julie and Ray were the ones that were originally attacked, right? Like, there you go. That's their logic in trying to kill. Like, there's a lot of kind of like, okay, well, how are they going to approach and go about this film? Which adds a level of excitement. However, you got to have your main characters in it. You got to have the characters that matter in it, the characters that people want to see, which is Julie and Ray. What's their relationship like? How's their life, right? Like, what direction are you going with this? What's the approach, right? There's a lot to unpack here that, again, this has a lot of potential to do. And I hope that they're able to work it out to get her on. I really hope that they're able to kind of figure out, okay, how do we get Julie, Jennifer Love Hewitt into the fold? Because the thing is, too, is that you got to imagine that she's going to have interactions with other characters, right? So I don't think it's something where they can just film her scenes separately. You got to imagine she's going to have, scenes with Ray and scenes with the Hookman, and she's being attacked by the Hookman, and her and Ray are together, or her and her son, or whatever, right? Like, you got to imagine that there's going to be more than just like her off to the side the whole film. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Are you excited about this news that we know that she's close, that she's coming, that she's still very active and wants to be in it? Do you think that, hey, you could probably do it without her? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.